Well, I had a comment yesterday or the other day asking me about these books behind me here and whether I would talk about them. I'm sure some of you know what they are, of course. They're Everyman's classics. Um, and yeah, I'm happy to talk about them because that's the kind of guy I am. If you leave a request, I do my best to fulfill it, to honor it. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my channel, Book Time with Elvis with me, Mark. And I hope you're doing very well indeed. I'm actually joined by Elvis, although you are unable to see him because he's currently on the bed, and I don't think I'm able to turn the camera around, sadly. And I hope, at least this time around, the mirror thing has been sorted out as well. So yeah, if you do enjoy my videos, please consider giving a like and a subscribe. I will be most grateful if you did that. So let's kick off then with the first of these. So what we got here, it's a big thick book, and it is the complete essays of George Orwell. So it's pretty massive. Now, if you're unfamiliar with George Orwell's essays, then you need to familiarize yourself with them because they're fantastic. Someone who probably, dare I say it, might be a better essay writer than he is a novelist. But, that's just an opinion some people have about him, let's say. So next up we have a collection of stories by the wonderful William Somerset Maugham. It includes a couple of the Ashenden stories, as well as, I think, mostly stories centered around his experiences in Asia, in colonial postings and things like that, colonial outposts. That's what I was looking for. And the nice thing about this is it's got an introduction written by Nicholas Shakespeare, son of the famous playwright, no, of course not, Nicholas Shakespeare, who wrote a wonderful, recently published biography of Ian Fleming, also, of course, the author of James Bond. Next up, we have the stories of Ray Bradbury. So here you have a collection of his stories. I don't know if it's all his short stories, probably not, I guess. But let's say the stories of Ray Bradbury. So I don't know, there's quite a few in here anyway, because it's, what is it? It's over 1,000 pages long. So yeah, another big one. Next up, we have 3 novels by Dashiell Hammett. We have The Maltese Falcon, of course, absolute classic, The Thin Man, and Red Harvest. So if you're looking for something to read in, what is this event, I think, that's going on? Is it Deadly December? Then probably some of those would suit you well. Next up, we have another nice collection, and it's the Everyman Chesterton. So it's some works by G.K. Chesterton, known, of course, for being the author of the Father Brown mysteries, among other things, and it includes, I think, I don't know if it's just a non-fiction, or I think it is actually a mixture of his writings. Yeah, so we have his writings on Charles Dickens, Victorian literature, orthodoxy, I guess, with his Catholicism. We have other religious essays, poems, and we do have Father Brown stories as well. So there we go. And the last of these red spine ones, we have the essential, and this of course is an absolutely must for any home library, The Essential Harlem Detectives by Chester Himes. It includes 4 stories here: A Rage in Harlem, The Real Cool Killers, The Crazy Kill, and Cotton Comes to Harlem. Now, Cotton Comes to Harlem is the only one I've read, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I did it as a buddy read with Randy Ray, the literate Texan. I think it was last year. And then I saw this was available, so I had to pounce on it, really. Okay, first up in these darker spine ones, we have Byron's Travels, Poems, Letters, and Journals of Lord Byron. And yeah, they are nice, these Everymans. I do like them. Doesn't that look lovely? It's very smart, doesn't it? Yeah, they are really nice to have. And I think they're quite, they're not too bad to read, unlike some hardbacks. Paper's quite thin, though, so you might have to be careful if you happen to be a little bit rough with your books. Now, I would like to build up this collection a lot, but I do have some caveats. And one of them is I don't think I'm that interested in having too many translated works, because in my experience, or what I've seen about them, is often especially classics, like if I had War and Peace in this, it would be a much older translation, and therefore, in some ways, maybe not the best as well. So, if I was to have an Everyman in Les Miserables, for example, by Victor Hugo, I would very much like it to be the Christine Donahoe translation rather than some Victorian translation. Same with the likes of, I don't know, War and Peace or Dostoevsky's Crime and Punishment. So I'd much rather have it in, in English original language than having something translated and maybe risking having something that might not be a good translation, especially if you've got a nice edition. So moving on, we have the complete stories of Edgar Allan Poe. I don't know if it's also green, is it? No, it's a nice red cover. So, yeah. So, complete stories of Edgar Allan Poe. We have the Audubon Reader. Obviously, it is just a collection of John James Audubon's writings. It does include some lovely illustrations. Of course, that's what he's well known for. In here, and his birds, I guess his Birds of America. So yeah, that's jolly nice. And then next up, we have selected writings of Alexander von Humboldt. You can see here, which I suppose just goes against, and I don't know if Audubon's was, well, it goes against what I was saying, because I'm assuming, of course, that it was published originally in German, but, there's always some exceptions, isn't there? So, yeah, just include some of his writings on natural history and travel. So we have, extracts from his personal narrative, travels to equinoctial regions of the new continent, essays on geographies and plants, his views of nature, political essays on the island of Cuba, and things like that. So it's pretty cool, I think, anyway. Kind of stuff that interests me. Now, next up we have the collected non-fiction of Mark Twain, Volume 1. Curious to see the colour of this one. Also red. And you can guess that that's going to be followed up by the collected non-fiction of Mark Twain, Volume 2. And I'm assuming, it's also red. So there we have it. And then our penultimate book is this one here, the collected stories of Rudyard Kipling. And it's actually, this one is in blue. So, we're getting through the colours. It does have a very nice, I think it's quite a nice cover there. I like it. So Rudyard Kipling, and then finally, we have an absolute mammoth, and it is James Boswell's The Life of Samuel Johnson. And in this instance, we're back in the green. And if you don't know these editions, they all have kind of, little ribbon there that you can use as a bookmark. So that is almost my Everyman library collection. There are a couple of random ones hanging around in different places, and that's because they're different editions to this. I have a couple of smaller ones. I thought I might have one to hand, but I don't. For example, like I have a small edition of Mozart's Letters in a pocket size of these. I also have a book of, I think, Prague writings and stories, which is also in a kind of pocket-sized edition of these Everyman library classics. So there we have it. Hope you enjoyed it, and look forward to seeing you all soon. Do take care, everybody. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know if you've read any of these. Let me know if there are any other Everyman library classics that I should add to my collection. Christmas is coming, and it might be a nice way to write up my list for Father Christmas. Actually, hang on, I've just spotted it here. I haven't actually opened it. So this is also an Everyman library, but it's a small hardback. I guess, a pocket one of Prague stories. And as I say, there is one somewhere around here on Mozart's letters. So there we go. Thanks again. Do take care. Cheerio. All the best. Bye bye.